Okay, it's Dan White for Beat TV and TAC Roadsmarts here with up-and-coming artist Oscar Galt. His album Guilt Factory is out now. Did you think about calling it Galt Factory?
It's been suggested quite a few times, but no.
Your music does have an introspective layer to it, I feel, as often blues artists do. You know, Guilt Factory is quite a dire term, one would say.
Yeah.
Have you done a lot of wrong in your life?
No, I wouldn't say so, but not all the songs are about me, so I try to, listen to what people have to say and try and interpret that.
So that's called writing the narrative. I understand it.
Writing character sort of.
Yeah. And so this album was written after you'd spent a bit of time in Europe.
Yeah. Did a bit of reflection there and just sort of realised that my old stuff wasn't really working and had to sort of move forward.
So with Guilt Factory, you're saying a lot of it was written in Europe. Where was it recorded? Was it recorded over there?
No, it was recorded in Yarraville with Shane O'Mara. He just sort of got my vibe where I was coming from and it just went from there and went really well. So.
Was there anyone from a totally different stylistic vein that inspired you to change, to just look at your music in a different way, like an electronic producer or a hip-hop artist or something like that? Was there one particularly profound moment at MIT where you looked at your music in a different way?
Yeah, well, there's a lot of sort of folk stuff going on there, and I guess it's really quite lyric-focused, and I sort of shifted my focus there to that more lyrical based style.
Great. And the writing and the narrative and and making people feel guilty for working in factories.
Exactly.
Now, speaking of a part of the world with a lot of factories, Europe. Now, I understand one of your songs is getting played on BBC One.
Yeah.
Which song?
BBC Two.
BBC Two.
Yeah.
BBC
Same.
BBC Two is the cool one.
Yeah.
What song's that?
That's I Won't Be Bought.
Yeah.
Which is the second song off the album. And it's sort of our intro pump-up song that we get going.
Great.
Gets the crowd going.
What's the main lyrical line from it?
I won't be bought. I'm not going to sell out sort of thing. Like a self kind of realisation,
Well,
I guess.
Australian Idol, look out. You're not going to get your hands on this, young man. You got a residency coming up.
Yeah.
Here in Melbourne. Where was that happening at?
That's at the Cornish Arms.
At the Cornish Arms, which is a great pub on Brunswick Street.
Yeah. So on
Sydney Road,
yeah.
Brunswick.
Yeah.
Fucking Melbourne.
It's going to be just me, a guitar, and a bassist, and then a female singer's coming in. So it's a real sort of raw kind of vibe that we got going on, and like really focusing on the core of the songs themselves and letting people take it in and interpret it how they'd like to.
How will you be getting home from the gig, most importantly?
I usually the designated driver.
Okay.
So I'll usually take everyone home. And
great.
Yeah.
Why are you usually the designated driver?
I just prefer to be
not a big drinker.
Be nice and clean for the gigs.
Yeah. Great.
Yeah.
So I guess what you're saying is you're a professional, and you have a focal point, which is your gig.
Yeah.
And that stops you from even wanting to drink. So I guess your advice for someone who was a designated driver or drove to a gig would be focus on what your goal is, what your role is, and that is to get everyone home safely, not to be selfish and drink.
Yeah, well, exactly. I mean, the buzz you get off of playing a show should be better than however many beers you're going to have anyway.
What I want you to do with me now, I want you to put a vocal line over the top of that, not drink driving home, okay?
Yeah.
Bow, 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 bow. Bow, 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 bow. Bow, 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 bow.
Baby, don't drive home tonight if you've had a few drinks.
Don't drive home. Bow, 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 bow.
Something like that.
That was good.
Yeah,
that was great. All right. Look, here's an exciting young man, Oscar Galt. Check him out. Check out Guilt Factory. And go and see him at the Cornish Arms and focus on what your goal is that night. If it's to get loaded and pick up a chick, fine. Just don't drive home.